Why is Laura Bailey an amazing player? Boy, what a question. For those of you who don't know, I made a video talking about how much Critical Role meant to me a little bit back, and that really helped my channel get off the ground. It gained enough popularity that even Travis commented on it, which really just, man, I can't even verbalize how much that meant to me. Unfortunately, this happened. The chances of any of them seeing this video is basically zero, and I'm entirely okay with that. But on the off chance that Matt, Taliesin, Marisha, Travis, Sam, Liam, or Ashley ever see this, thank you. Thank you for choosing to be a light and refusing to give up on people. It's impossibly valuable to have role models like you. Notice anything missing in that heartfelt message? Like the fool I am, I forgot to thank Laura, and you best bet people made sure that I remembered that. So, as an apology, and also because I legitimately wanted to make this video, I promised to deep dive into the incredible role player, voice actress, mother, and all-around Dungeons & Dragons sweetheart that is Laura Bailey, because her roleplay style is just... it has a charisma and magnetism to it that is impossible to quantify, and there is a lot we can learn from her. I want to talk about one of the best role players I have ever seen. I want to talk about how Laura Bailey brings life to her table. So let's talk about that. So when looking at Laura, there's a few things to take note of. 1, she has a mad amount of respect for and from the other players at her table. 2, she knows how to steal a scene, and she also just as much knows how to shove someone else into the spotlight. 3, she has a passion that shines through in almost everything of what she does. Let's start with the first point though. She has a mad amount of respect for and from the other players at her table. Let's make it clear, a lot of what makes Laura, and by proxy, the other players at the Critical Role table, amazing is the community that they've trusted and garnered amongst themselves. You just can't replicate what happens at their table because, well, you're not one of them. It's a unique atmosphere that every table brings, which is what makes it awesome. There's no two tables that are ever going to be alike. But what we can learn from Laura is about having a respect for the other players at the table, because you could see in everything that she does, she respects them. Watch as she observes Liam when she plays Vex, and how she hangs off of every word he says. Not just because she's enthralled, because she is, but because she respects Liam as a role player, and she is also playing a character so intrinsically tied to him, that means anything she does can enhance and add on to something that he's already doing. And that also leads into the next portion that explains why she has so much respect for her table mates. Point 2, she knows how to steal a scene, and just as much she knows how to shove someone else back into that spotlight. Whenever Laura speaks in character, watch how the rest of the table reacts. They are all instantly watching her, because Laura rarely speaks up in character with something that will not either grab a laugh, jerk a tear, or cause everyone at the table to immediately facepalm. Her actions are nearly always impactful in a pretty impressive way, because she has the respect enough for her castmates to know when to step in or not. Observe the following classic scene, and please note that if you haven't watched Campaign 1, there are very minor spoilers in here.
I take mine very quickly and walk in the buck, and I find Percival's bath, and silently walk in while he's bathing, and I sit in the bath on the other side and just stare for a minute.
You know you're getting weirder.
You and I are very different.
I would agree. Although again, I'm in a bath at the moment. Cut to it. I think I was really working on something.
I didn't think you were.
You made me a little off.
So meek. Anyway, I still plan to honor your request, but I want you to know that you are like a brother to me. Now, I have a sister and we fight constantly, so I expect to do that with you.
I hope so.
But I'm glad I have you around still.
Me as well. I like this family. I'd like to keep it.
Don't say another word. I
really
show him my ass and I leave.
As soon as he leaves, I come up from the water and go, oh! I thought he'd never
I was so hoping you were going to do that.
How big are these fucking bathtubs?
They're big.
Notice how she slowly decides what she wants to do.
You and I are very different.
I would agree. Although again, I'm in a bath at the moment. I'm cut to it. I think I was really working on something.
I didn't think you were.
You made me a little off.
So meek. I want you to know that you are like a brother to me. Don't say another word. I
really
show him
don't-
my ass and I leave.
As soon as he leaves, I come up from the water and go, oh!
She knows it will be funny, but she waits. She waits and makes certain that Liam and Taliesin can have their scene. She detracts nothing from it, but instead waits for the right moment to recontextualize the scene and add hilarity without stealing from what her castmates are trying to do. And I just know that there will be people in the comments saying that of course she did this. She's a trained actor. Look, that's true. She is a trained actor, and I'm absolutely certain that the theater and acting experience has a huge portion to play into that, and I don't want to detract from that in the slightest. However, I really think attributing these actions and this behavior to just acting training is really reductive to the true skill and talent that Laura has in this department. You could be a trained actor and not have this respect or this knowledge. It's something special. Don't get me wrong, everyone at the table at Critical Role is good at this skill, but I legitimately think that Laura is one of the best. Let's take a look at an example of her shoving someone else into the spotlight.
I'm gonna ask Caleb to waltz with me.
Alright, okay.
No, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So well
All
done.
right.
You were great out
So
there.
in the midst of everything dying down, people are, they're starting to get pretty sloshed, and the energy level, while it's still, rather rowdy, some folks are starting to tap out for the night. As Jester goes ahead and drags Caleb into the center of the tavern floor, takes hands, and Caleb, almost running on autopilot, who does have some minor experience in the past, go ahead and make a performance check with disadvantage, Caleb.
That's cocked. That's okay. That is with advantage, you say?
Disadvantage, because you're
Disadvantage. That's
drugged.
very low. Very low. That is a 5.
Drunk.
So, Caleb, if a moment passes before Jester begins leading you.
Yeah.
But you guys continue, the two of you, to have a very nice little waltz in the middle of the area.
Yeah.
Kind of quietly, the music begins to change. What was once kind of the rowdy bar music kind of transitions into an actual waltz piece as the musicians notice this happening, and the 3/4 beat begins to pick up. 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Notice how she very quickly decides she wants to put Liam's character into an uncomfortable position. Why? Because Liam shines when his characters are uncomfortable. He often plays quieter characters. Even the impulsive Vax would often remain quiet because Liam never wants to steal the spotlight from anyone else, and so he tries very, very hard to remain in the background until it's his turn to shine. Laura recognizes this behavior, and she decides in that moment, Liam, your turn. Come on, you're gonna have fun in the spotlight right now. So she knows how to steal a scene, yes, but she just as much knows how to use her charisma and magnetism to draw other castmates in, and that's just, well, a skill I quite honestly admire and envy just a little bit. But hey, I can always learn from her, and I strive to do so. And speaking of things I strive to emulate from Laura Bailey, let's take a look at that third point. She has a passion that shines through in most of what she does. The simple fact is, Laura wears her emotions on her sleeve when it comes to role-playing, and I think that's really impressive, especially when you have such a massive audience watching you.
Does this have something to do with that city? It does, doesn't it? Who's there?
Well, everyone. We were judged growing up. I don't look forward to seeing that again.
But whenever you watch Laura play D&D, it's so easy to just see that she's just, well, having a fun and real good time. Whether it's finding out that she's become a giant 2-ton mammoth,
You take 8 points of fire damage.
Fuck it, I'm a mammoth, I don't care.
or just making her cast members uncomfortable with her incredible arsenal of impossibly immature innuendos. Laura just has fun and cares a lot. And it's that energy and that excitement that becomes infectious and makes it so easy to root for her and love watching her play at the table. And at the end of the day, watching her play with and bounce off her castmates is one of the truly most incredible things to watch, and that is something she does which I entirely desire to emulate. I could go on and on about how she lifts up others and supports their roleplay, and why Jester in particular is a character that seems to do this just the absolute best and draw people into the story in the best kinds of way, but I'm not sure I could do it justice. So instead, I've asked fellow YouTuber and amazing Critical Role analyst Monkey DM to toss his hat into the crowd. Monkey, what do you think?
Hello everyone, Evan from Monkey DM here. Jester. One of the reasons the whole cast falls in love with Jester is because she's tremendous at being a supportive ally. When you see her at the table around other players, she hypes them extremely well. I think the most notable example for this is with Fjord. At the beginning, Fjord is very self-conscious about his tusks, so much so that it cuts them off. But Jester, through positive reinforcement and constant support, makes him love the tusks, to a point where he flashes them to anyone who's willing to see them. If that's not a 180, then I don't know what is. All thanks to Jester's support. Or in the vast majority at least. The most amazing thing is that she treats the whole cast like this. When they are doubting themselves, she supports them and gives them actual tangible reasons as to why they should believe in themselves. Example of things that they've done in the past, achievements that they've completed that no one else has, things that they should take pride in, and she reminds them of that. And I think for that very reason, Jester and Laura Bailey is one of the most fantastic support characters that there is. Anyway, that's all for me.
Honestly, couldn't have said it better myself. Because it's true, Laura supports not just the characters, but the players. And I don't mean that in a mechanical sense because, well, Laura, if you ever see this, please don't take offense, but you are definitely not a support player at heart. But you are definitely a supportive role player, which I think is infinitely more valuable. Laura does an amazing job at helping both the characters and the players see their value. And for Jester specifically, just like Monkey said, she did such an incredible job of never letting her fellow party members feel down on themselves. She saw the good in everyone, and always let that aspect of her character show through no matter what. Even when one of her party members was brainwashed and trying to kill her, she never stopped trying to see the good in them. At the end of the day, it's just hard not to be drawn in by the things that Laura does and the way she plays her characters. Even when playing more reserved characters like Vex, she maintains a faith and importance in the people around her. After all, Vex and Percy grew close because Vex recognized a dark part to him and just wasn't willing to let him fall into that. She saw better in him. So at the end of the day, Laura Bailey is an incredible player and role player because she cares about those around her in such an incredibly inspiring way. She watches when to make them laugh, observes when to show her heart, and always maintains an awareness of the spotlight to ensure all have a chance to shine in it. It's easy to see her play a character like Jester and assume that she'd want to be in the spotlight all the time. I mean, it's where Jester shines. And everybody loves Jester. They'd be more than willing to let her just keep the spotlight. But she doesn't do that. Instead, she uses the magnetism that she has in order to put other people in the spotlight. So yeah, maybe you're not the best healer or support player, Laura, but you do plenty of healing and supporting in the way you hold yourself at the table, and I think that's plenty good enough, and something to hold your head high about. Now, do I think Laura actually beats herself up about the fact that she's not very good at healing? No, and she actually ended up doing a pretty good job near the end of the campaign. But I do want to emphasize that there is a huge benefit in being a support at your table for your fellow players, and I don't think there's a better example to learn from than Laura. So Laura, genuinely, thank you for being such a great example of how to support your fellow players and how to just keep an awareness of them so that you can make sure that everybody is having fun. Thanks for showing us what it's like to care, and I'm genuinely sorry for forgetting to thank you in that Critical Role video. Hopefully this can make up for it. But seriously, thank you for being such an amazing example, and I hope all of us can learn from the amazing people at the Critical Role table. So let's go out into the world and make it our own, you beautiful bastards. Don't forget to have a great day, and never forget to play a role. Thank you. Come again. And before I end this video, I actually do want to ask everybody to go over to Monkey DM's channel and give it a look. He has some amazing content, and he actually just released his own analysis on Laura's, which I honestly think is pretty amazing, and I found it really hard to follow up on, so I hope that you guys can go enjoy that. Anyways, have a great day. See you later.